Hi everyone, this is Nikki, also known as Faces Trader or your Awesome 10x Philippine Market Update. This is July 21, 2021, and of course, the biggest question is how effective are the vaccines against Delta variant? Ito na naman tayo, the Philippines is in the brink of rising, spiking cases of Delta variant. Let's read all these lockdown pressures yet again. So our President Rodrigo Duterte is eyeing stricter measures versus the more aggressive Delta variant. He is eyeing stricter health measures in preparation for the possible local transmission of the COVID-19 Delta variant in the country. The reported cases is a cause for serious alarm and concern. This is redundant, but as good as any warning that can be given to the people, we need to impose avoid mass gathering to prevent a super spreader event. The DOH has reported 16 cases of Delta variant as of July 16. We have seen and heard in recent news about the spike of COVID-19 cases in other countries. So far in Indonesia, there's average 49,435 new cases with more than 1,000 deaths a day for the past week. Marami na nga silang bakuna. This is one of a country that declared that they were almost COVID-free. But the problem in Indonesia is that may pumasok na variant called Delta. And this is a mutation of the COVID-19, more vicious, more aggressive, and potentially fatal. So he warned the public against the entry of Delta variant into the country. This should put us in grave concern. Because sabi nga nila, it is vicious, more virulent, and can cause death faster than the COVID-19. The Delta variant is 60% more transmissible than the usual Alpha variant B11K B117 UK lineage. Okay, so far, let's read further the alerts. Alerts are up for a possible COVID-19 Delta variant surge. So health experts have warned community transmission of the more contagious Delta variant already taking place in the Philippines. If I may speculate, it's possible not to consider a possible community transmission already happening. But the government advisor said he'd rather wait for the genomic data in order to map out the variant transmission. If the different places show very closely related viruses, then that may be the case. There are, of course, wreaking havoc in many countries, first reported in India and now in many countries across the world. Actually, last night, there was rules being imposed of stricter lockdown measures in the U.S. And then a lot of people are being asked to vaccinate because apparently AstraZeneca and Pfizer are gonna help you against the Delta variant. So actually last night, Pfizer continued to go all-time highs. This is actually a breakout last night on Pfizer. And then AstraZeneca also going up last night because of a potential cure against the Delta variant vaccine. So far, Delta COVID-19 variant deaths in the Philippines is now 3 cases. And 35 cases of people, 32 recovered. So 2 people who were sick with yun. So the individual cases reported recently comes from Pandacan, died June 28. The other woman from Antique recovered, and then another person died in Antique. So the DOH said at that time, the Filipino crew member of MV Athens Bridge passed away after being confined at the Manila Medical Hospital, along with 3 other crew members. Other 3 seafarers have recovered. So you could see actually that this movement will really prevent traveling. Mobility is going to be secured and undermined. And it's normal for the entire world to actually be so scared. Yet again, ito na naman, lockdown measures na naman. So let's take a look at how the market is doing with these lockdown pressures. You can see that the Philippine market continues to fall further south, now down 1.68%, down 110 points, now trading at 6,476. I can only assure you that from a sector standpoint, the only ones that will remain alive in the Philippines would be consumer staples and utilities, because those are the only ones that we can obviously assume would be a safe haven in the Philippines. So when it comes to consumer staples, we're talking about the likes of Monde Nissin and URC as a potential resilient company in this sell-off. So when you're seeing URC fall down this week, let's say 146 can go down to 126, already assume in the next few weeks and the next few months to actually post your buying on URC. because a consumer staple at the end of the day is relatively cash flow resilient, as you as a family still have to eat. Now, of course, utilities such as your PLDT and Meralco are also expected to stay resilient, or even your broadband internet like Converge. So these stocks, if they do fall anytime within the next month, these are your considered consumer staples and safe havens in the Philippine market. Same thing, the Mondanisan drop is not unusual because at 17, it was too high, too pricey for the kinds of growth that Mondanisan can display in a year. However, I would assume that Mondanisan here at about 1350, any drops now 1450 to 1350 would have an entry point for a buy side, because in a world that is uncertain, the only thing that you can actually be certain about is that people actually eat. And Mondanisen, catering to 97% of the country, with a market share of more than 90% in their brands, whether it be the Mondanisen Cupcake Mamon or your Pancit Canton Lucky Me, is really the staple food of most Filipinos. So that's really gonna be resilient relative strength sector of the Philippine market. So it's not unusual that your index names are falling down. In particular, let's read the index movers and the prices right now. Ayala Corp 754, Ayala Land 3430, Pure Gold 39.5, Robinson's Land 15.5, Luciatan Group 10.9, DMCI 6.12, Robinson's Retail 52 bucks, San Miguel Corporation 111, Bloomberry now trading below 6. First Gen 29, Aboitiz Power 23.5, PLDT 1290, Mega World 2.91, Globe 1897, Emperador 12.1, Meralco 266, MPI 3.56, AGI 9.6, URC 134, Security Bank 108, ICT 157, GT Capital 551, Jollibee 204, BPI 84, AEV 38, Metro Bank 44, SM Prime 33, SM 940, JG Summit 58, BDO 104. Obviously, your SM, your Ayalas are gonna fall because a large part of their business relies on the reopening of the economy. With a potential lockdown pressure, SM and AC, particularly Ali and SMPH, are going to get hard hit. And so the financials, the conglomerates, the properties are going to get another sell-off. And it's something that you have to expect would happen every time a spike in fear happens. So the only ones that I think that the market will voyeur into would be staples. Supermarket is a staple. That's why Pure Gold got a lot of love. I'd say that Pure Gold, any dips, let's say next month or 2 weeks from now, is still going to get bought at some point in time, because I'm not saying that they would hoard supplies, but obviously there's a food demand depression, recession, whatsoever you think about it, because people have to eat. So your Pure Golds, your Meralcos, these are the ones that will stay resilient. Dips on Meralco here about 250 will be a buying opportunity. You should be seeing internet also a buying opportunity in case Globe does fall 1.8. So you should be prepared about that. Now expect these names, your SM and AC, to dictate the drop because of the fact that your malls will probably be really getting suffering for a longer time. And that means that your SEB will also fall down. So obviously your SEB can go as low as 41 or 42, right? So obviously this is a resistance at 55, and apparently it's going to take another, 6 months, another year before the world can actually recover. So nothing surprising about these drops of Macro Asia. It could fall again here at about 4 pesos. So your Jollibees could also fall yet again back to about 185 or 170. So just expect further sell-off in the Philippine market. Your SM Prime likely to fall again here at about supports at 32, or even an entry point at 31. I'd say that the Philippine index is gonna have a difficulty. So another drop here at about 6162. That would be catalyzed by your property sector, your financials getting hard hit, of course. So your GT cap falling down is normal because GT cap primarily relies a lot on car mobility. So this is really gonna suffer with a market drop. So again, another retest, perhaps these lows at 495 or 500. That's not something that is not it's actually not related. You could say that yes, there's already a seasonal downdrift for the ghost month. Ever since 50 years ago, 100 years ago, we always have a drop July and August and September. That's been a yearly thing, like a seasonal thing. But that also is coinciding with the fact that we are really having a Delta variant risk. So expect really sell-offs in the Philippine market. Now, however, those sell-offs will of course be an opportunity for the people who have cash. Obviously, if Mega World does drop here about 280 or 260, you have a lot of people willing to buy that name. Reasons because not because in the short term that Mega World will rise, but it's a good thing to share to you that even in a world of apocalypse thinking, Mega World actually earned 10 billion pesos and is still getting that rentals year in, year out. Same thing, any drops of Emperador here at about 11 pesos or 10 pesos would be a buying opportunity. So the drop of AGI in general, if it drops somewhere here at about 8 pesos or 9 pesos, just assume already that the worst will happen, that the market will fall to about 6.2 or 6.1. These drops of 10% will be an opportunity. But if you're going to be on the safe side, I think the safe side really is to park your money into the likes of URC and Mondenisen. I mean, that's the first thing that you have to think about, food security more than anything. So consumer staples, utility, these are your top priority baskets when the market sells off. Okay, let's take a look in any things. Does Costco still own the liquor business? I think Costco is trying to change their name to Montosco Wine and Spirits. So you might want to check out when it changes the name to Montosco. How deep will an eternal lager like Double Dragon go? When will it be time to pick it up? From 15 pesos, it's now down to 10 pesos. It could go single digits next month. Thank you for telling me to protect my capital asset. Thanks. Actually, for Double Dragon, I think the problem here is that the entire Philippine market is already weak. And so a real estate sector, no matter, and I don't think like this perennial lager will actually change. We don't see a bottom on this name so far. So I couldn't really say. Of course, like it could stop at 10 just because of no reason as well. I would not know, but you could see that there is a resistance here at 14.50, another resistance here at 12. So it seems as if a 20% drop to 10 and another 20% drop to 8. I'm not sure if that would happen, but we don't see any buyers stepping in. So the trend is still decidedly down so far for Double Dragon. I would not actually speculate how low is the low because I wouldn't know. It could actually stop at 10, rise to 12, or just do nothing and sleep there at 11. I know nothing about it actually. I mean, I can't quite say what would happen in the short term. And I don't think that the money will actually flood into a property in this type of climate. Like this business sector is gonna be more in the likes of consumer staples. It's just what would be the most common sense, I think, in this world. I think so. Yeah, unfortunately, it will be a long time. So if you could see the Philippines would suffer. And sadly, the only thing that the Philippines can do is try to contain the virus. I'm not sure if there will be additional lockdowns, but you know the drill. You already know the drill. So if the market will continue to lock down, the pressure is very negative for the entire Philippine economy. So it's gonna affect Philippines down again. That's all I could say. So if you want to make some money, I can give you ideas in the US markets. So let's probably just discuss US markets in the next update. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. That's it. Bye-bye.